Hey, Mike Jones here, Florida Homes Realty and Jacksonville's voice of real estate. This is our first Facebook Live show, so if you're here, we're glad to have you. If you're watching later, we hope you find the show useful and informative. I call myself Jacksonville's voice of real estate because Cindy and I used to do a real estate radio show every Saturday. We did it for a couple of years back in 05, 06, 07 when the real estate market was really hot. And we were it was a very successful show. We had a lot of listeners, a huge call-in base. And people used to call in, ask questions about real estate. And we would have lenders on and home inspectors talking about, things related to real estate. And we also advertised all our listings. We wanted to bring it back because technology is so fantastic right now with all the platforms there are out there. We decided we were going to bring it back. So today is our first show here on Facebook Live, or our first official show. We've done plenty of videos on Facebook Live, but we're going to start doing this every Saturday at 10 o'clock right here on Facebook, on our Facebook page. If you're looking at this somewhere else other than on our Facebook page right now, it's facebook.com/Jacksonville Real Estate. Go there, like us. That way you'll get alerts when we do come on live. And by the way, if you would share this video, hit like, throw some hearts or whatever it is on there, we'd appreciate it to help us get the word out. Another thing, too, is if you have questions, we're going to try and answer them right here as we speak. So we're going to try to keep this short, maybe 20 minutes or so, but we're coming at you live today from an open house. We're actually sitting at an open house today in Clay County, Florida. It's in Green Cove Springs, a little area called, well-known, they call it Lake Asbury. And it's a great Clay County location. I mean, you can get to everywhere quick here. They've got great schools. This particular house is in a subdivision that has very low homeowner association fees and no CDD fees. So that's great. Cindy's going to take you around here in a few minutes, but we're glad you're here. If you have questions, like I said, just type them in. Let us know you're here so we know that we're not just talking to ourselves here at this camera. Anyways, what do we have? We want to talk about topics related to real estate every week. And a lot of times, back when we were doing the radio show, our content was driven by consumer questions, just people out there in the real estate arena looking to buy or sell homes, that they would ask us questions, and that's where our content would come from. So right now, we're just going off the cuff. We just figured we'd come up with a few things that you might find interesting. You may not. I don't know. But anyways, it's your show. Your questions will actually determine the outcome and where we go. If what we got to talk about is too boring for you, we can always change the subject. We're here for you. Just put it in the comments section there below, and we'll go from there.
So both of us are realtors. I'm Cindy Jones. I'm actually Mike Jones' wife. We're both realtors. We've actually been in the business for many, many, many years. We've helped many buyers and sellers help buy and sell homes. So we're very experienced. We've been doing this a long time with a lot of people. So we know what we're talking about. So one of the first questions that people who meet us for the first time, and we say, well, what do you do? Oh, we're realtors. Oh, well, how's the market doing? So we want to kind of tell you how the market's doing right now in Jacksonville. And one of the biggest things is, what's the interest rate right now? So we kind of wanted to talk about that. We have some information on how the interest rate is doing this week.
Well, the average nationwide, the average 30-year mortgage fixed actually went up a little bit this past week to 3.45%. Now, don't panic, because that is really, really, really low interest rate. It only went up. It was 3.43% the week before, so it didn't really go up much. I mean, you're not even going to notice that. Do you know the all-time low that interest rates have ever been? It was in November of 2012. They were 3.31%. And when Cindy and I bought our first house in 1999, we got a 7% interest rate, and we thought that was off the chain good.
It was good back then. It was very good.
Well, at the time it was. But
yeah.
Right now, I mean, you can get depending on your credit and things like that, you can get on average a 3.45% 30-year fixed interest rate. And there's all kinds of other creative things you can do too. If you feel like you needed to get it lower than that, I don't know why. But even better is the 15-year fixed mortgage rate on a national average. That one's at 2.76%. You know it's cheaper to own now than it is to rent. And what I don't understand, if you are in a place in your life where you know you're going to be in one spot for a while, if you don't need to be mobile, if you don't have one of those jobs that can take you anywhere at any time, like military, and thank you all, we're both veterans ourselves,
Right.
so thank you all military veterans, present, past, future. We appreciate your service. We know what you do. We know what you're going through, your families and everything, so thank you. But even if you're in the military, if you're going to be stationed in one place for a while, you need to be buying a house. The fact is if you don't own your own house, if you're not paying your own mortgage, unless you're living with friends or family, you're paying someone else's mortgage.
Right.
Why would you do that? Like I said, it's cheaper now to own than rent. So this is a perfect time. And we got to that point because she was saying that most buyers and sellers, when they meet us, the first thing they ask is, how's the market? Market's great.
It is great.
Yeah.
It's great, and interest rates are low. And there are still houses out here for sale that you can actually choose from. Even though we have less houses on the market now than we did 2 or 3 years ago, there's still houses to choose from. And actually, counting St. Johns County, counting St. Augustine, and all of Northeast Florida, right now there's over 15,000 houses for sale in all different areas, all different price ranges to choose from.
And that includes condos, townhomes, patio
Yeah.
homes, and single family homes, even some duplexes and things like that. So that's another thing too. If you really want to if you want to invest in real estate, man, get you a duplex or get you a quadplex or something. You can live in one, rent the other two out. I mean,
absolutely,
make some money on it. It's the time to do it. Now, I got to tell you that the summertime market here in Northeast Florida has trickled to a little bit. It's slowed down a little bit. That's just because kids have gone back to school.
Yeah.
Kids are going back to school.
Yep.
I think in some counties they haven't even started back yet. But everybody's focused on other things right now. And it's true that typically people like to buy and sell houses most of the time during the summer months when kids are out of school. So it's normal to see a kind of a slowdown. So the thing is right now, whether you're a buyer or a seller, this is the time right now. The thing is if you got people out there looking now, they're more serious. There's a lot less tire kickers running around. And we've got it good here in Northeast Florida because we don't have the cyclical real estate market like some do, like say in Montana or Michigan, where they get a lot of snow and things like that up north. And I've talked to some realtors in that area, and they pretty much shut down when it's really cold and snowing. And so, we got it good here. So if you're looking to buy or sell, now's the time to do it. I think this is the best time, especially since the market crashed in 2008. You just can't beat this time of season for to buy or sell houses. So Cindy's got a tip for people, and Cindy mostly works with buyers. And, I work with buyers too, but I'm mainly focused on working with sellers, and Cindy works with buyers. It just works well that way. I like working with buyers and sellers, and so does she, but she's better at working with buyers than I am, and I'm better at working with sellers than she is. So it's a great partnership that we have, and that we do that. So Cindy's got a buyer tip, Buyer 101.
So since this is our first real estate show, I wanted to kind of do a Buyer 101 Class 1. So basically, I'm going to talk to you as if you have never purchased a home. And a lot of you out there have never purchased a home. And if you have, you'll know that what I'm talking about is absolutely correct. And I talk to buyers on a daily basis, usually several people all throughout the day that I actually talk to on the phone. Most people are first-time home buyers. And so I have to explain a lot of things because they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do, but that's what I'm here for. So I wanted to give you the best tip that you can do. If you're starting to look for a house, the best thing that you can do is go ahead and talk with a lender and get pre-approved for a loan. Now, you think that is the silliest thing you've ever heard because that's pretty basic. However, just a couple weeks ago, I talked to somebody on the phone, and they said, "Oh, that's the crazy. I've never heard that, but they've never bought a house." And I'm trying.
Well, wait a
to
minute.
explain
You're saying that you're telling them, or you're giving them advice when you first talk to them, and you're saying that the first step is they need to get pre-qualified or pre-approved for a mortgage.
Talk to a loan.
And they think that that's ridiculous.
That what they said was, "Oh, I thought that I needed to find a house first." That's most people's thing. Most people think that you need to find a house first and then you go get a mortgage. Well, here's why. There's a very good reason. There's several good reasons. But for one thing, if you're out there looking for a house, there are a lot of other people out there looking for a house as well. If you find your perfect house, and now you have to stop everything to go talk to a lender, get the loan in place. And now it could take anywhere from a few hours to several days or even a couple weeks for that lender to actually get you an approval letter. Now, we're going to talk about a couple different things. There's a pre-qualification letter from a lender, and there's actually called a pre-approval letter, which is much, much better than a pre-qualification letter.
So what's the difference?
But here's the thing is, okay, so if you go talk to a lender and you say, "I just want a pre-qualification letter," the lender's going to ask you a few questions, and they're going to base the pre-qualification letter pretty much on what you're telling them, how much money you make, how much debt you have, and things like that. Well, that is not the end of that is not the end of your loan process. Some people, it shocks me when people are shocked that lenders ask a whole bunch of questions and ask for all kinds of financial documents. Guys, they're giving you $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. They're going to ask you a lot of questions. So back to a pre-qualification letter. If you just ask for a pre-qualification letter, they may just go by what you tell them.
Well, they do.
They might pull your credit,
yeah,
but they're going to go by what you tell them, and they're just going to spit out a pre-qualification letter. Now, a pre-qualification letter. Now, let's back up just a minute. Let me slow down for just a minute. Why do you need to do all this in the beginning? Is because when you find your perfect house and you say, "Oh my gosh, Cindy, this is the house I want," and I hear it all the time, "This is the house I want." You want to be able to write an offer, and what has to go along with that offer, what absolutely has to go along with that offer is your lender letter, whether it's a pre-qualification letter or a pre-approval letter or a fully approved letter.
Well,
that goes to the seller so that they can see that you've already talked to a lender.
It demonstrates your ability to purchase the home. And if you think about it, if you were a seller and a buyer brought you an offer and they did not demonstrate their ability to buy your home, would you feel like you were in a position to even negotiate with that buyer?
Right.
So you got to kind of put yourself in the other position. And the thing is the majority of buyers, when they write an offer, have talked to a lender. They've got either a pre-qual or a pre-approval letter. And the thing is, if two offers go in there at the same time, yours without that pre-qualification or pre-approval letter and the other buyer with it, who do you think is going to get to negotiate with that seller about that house?
Right. So the other thing is, okay, so we talked about a pre-qualification letter might just be what the lender goes on, what you tell them. And then what you want to do even further than that is a pre-approval letter. Now that's when they've already asked you for several documents, and a lot of those are pay stubs, 2 years of W-2s, 2 years of federal returns,
tax returns,
2 months of bank statements on all of your accounts. Now that's just the minimum what they're going to ask for. Now, and so once they look into all of these different areas, look into your documents, prove everything that you've been given them, and they say, okay, now you are pre-approved. Now this letter looks better than a qualification letter because they've actually looked into these documents and you've proven your income and you've proven your debts and things like that. And guys, some people think it's shocking to me. Some people think that, oh, I'm going to tell them about these debts, but I'm not going to tell them that I have child support. They won't find that out. Believe me.
How many times has that happened? How many times have we seen that happen?
If you withhold information from a lender, you are only hurting yourself. Because if you put in an offer on a house, you've given them a pre-qualification letter based on what you've told the lender, and then you go ahead and get that offer approved by the seller, and now you have a contract. You have deadlines to meet. You have inspections to pay for. You have appraisals to pay for. You have a lot of money going out that you're paying for. And if you wait all the way till the end and the lender finds out 4 weeks into this that, oh yeah, you didn't tell me that you had $1,500 going out for child support every month. Wow, that makes your debt to income ratio too much, or it could. And at that point, you've spent money. You've got a binder deposit on the line. You've paid for home inspections, a WDO. You've paid for all kinds of inspections. You've paid for your appraisal. And now all of a sudden, because you might have withheld something, thinking they're not going to find it out, they will definitely find it out. You want to have full disclosure and tell them absolutely everything.
Thank you. We appreciate that light.
Oh.
I just saw it go across the screen. That was pretty cool.
I saw that too. I didn't know what it was.
Thank you.
So, anyway.
I don't know if y'all are making comments or anything because they're not coming up here.
Is this need to go
No,
down?
don't push that button because you'll end the recording. So if you don't mind, if you're watching, would you just type in hi so we can make sure that comment thing's working? We'd appreciate it.
Is anybody out there listening to us?
Well,
so you don't want to go through the whole process and then the lender find it. They will, believe me, they will find out everything that's on your credit report.
They look under every rock, nook, and cranny. I'm telling you, they're not going to loan you hundreds of thousands of dollars without looking into these things. And
so a pre-qualification letter and a pre-approval letter. A pre-approval letter is much better. If you want to go even one step further, which I highly recommend, and you can get a full approval letter. That means you are fully approved. That means you've been underwritten and everything. The only thing that they're going to wait on is a contract on a house. You still have to have your inspections. You still have to have your appraisal and things like that. So, but you can still get a full loan approval. That looks better to a seller when you make an offer. So if you want to look the best that you can to a seller, you want to get a full approval before you start looking at houses. So going and looking at houses before you've even talked to a lender, I mean, you can do what you want. You can do whatever you want. If you want to go see houses, it's up to you.
Well,
however, if you want to be serious when you're looking for a house, you want to go get your approval letter before you start looking at houses.
Well, another thing too is that doing that ahead of looking at houses also benefits you as a buyer, because the last thing you want to be doing is looking at $300,000, $350,000, $400,000 houses, and then find out that you only qualify for $200,000 or $250,000. Because I guarantee you, if you've looked at $300,000 and $400,000 houses, and then you have to go look at $200,000 houses,
you won't like them.
You're not going to like them because you've seen this level, and now you've got to buy at this level. So it really just benefits you in a lot of ways to get that done first. Now, a lot of the things that Cindy didn't mention too is a lot of people think that they can't get a pre-approval letter, a full pre-approval letter, unless they have an address of a house they want to buy, and that's not true. When you go get a pre-approval letter, and they go through the whole thing, all they're doing is telling you, we can, based on your credit, your debt to income, and all these things that we've verified, you qualify for a mortgage up to X amount of dollars, okay? And then they'll tell you in the fine print that, you know, a lot of other things are going to be determined by the house that you buy, you know, with homeowner insurance or homeowner association fees. They want to make sure that you have to have a clean title insurance policy, and these types of things come up after the fact. And most houses do, but that's just a caveat, that you got to have a clean title insurance policy, and it has to appraise for the purchase price. So you can get a pre-approval letter without an address. If a lender tells you you can't, they're just lazy. They don't want to do the work. Another thing is good faith estimates. A lot of people will go out there and get a pre-qualification letter, and that's all they care about. They don't look into what that lender is going to charge them to get them that loan, and that's very important. And a lot of lenders will tell you, well, I can't give you that until we start the process, or I can't give you that until we have an address and things like that. So far from the truth. If you talk to a lender, a bank, a broker, a mortgage company, I don't care who it is, and they will not give you a good faith estimate that describes what your estimated closing cost is going to be, Go somewhere else.
I call it a big red flag.
Yes.
I have some awesome lenders. If you need a lender, I have some awesome ones. Now, anybody can use any lender they like, but to make a very smooth transaction, I have some awesome lenders that I've worked with for a long time, and they will give you a pre-qualification letter or pre-approval, whatever you prefer, and your closing cost estimate right along with it, so you know what they're charging you right up.
Now, let me ask you something, Cindy. When you recommend a lender and that buyer chooses to go with that lender, do they pay you for that? Do you get a referral or anything?
No, I don't get a referral fee.
Why? That would be highly illegal.
That would be illegal.
So
right.
why do you have certain lenders that you try to recommend to buyers? Why this lender and not this one?
I've actually worked with a lot of lenders in the past, and I know how they work. I know if their company can get things done in the time that is needed to get it done or not.
Very important.
If they're going to let things slip and slide and drop the ball, you could be not just 1 or 2 or 3 days outside your closing date, the day that you thought you were going to be able to get your keys and move in. You could be a couple weeks out from your closing date because it could be the lender dropped the ball. I work with lenders that I know have a proven
track record. They do what they say they're going to do, and they do it on time.
And they get things done.
And they will provide that good faith estimate.
Right.
No problem like that. Mm-hmm. You know why they'll do that? Because they know that they're not charging ridiculous fees. So that's one of the things. I mean, if somebody will not give you a good faith estimate when you apply for a loan, it's because they don't want you to see what those fees are. And they don't want you to go shop it around to try to get a better deal.
Right.
So anyways, enough of that. Just get pre-qualified, better yet, even pre-approved for a mortgage before you start looking at houses, unless you're paying cash.
Y'all want to see this house?
Let's Cindy take you guys around and show you this house.
Okay.
Again, we appreciate you guys being here. We wish you'd just say hello if you are here so we'll know that you're watching. And all you got to do is push that little button.
Yeah. Okay.
And Cindy's going to walk you around here.
So, first of all, this is I'll turn it around in just a second. This house at 2608 Royal Point Drive in Green Cove Springs is a 2,040 square foot house. It's 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. And it happens to be a 3-way split floor plan. So I'll turn this around. This is an open floor plan. Let's see if that turns around. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna try to do this slow for y'all. So this is an open floor plan. A lot of people love the open kitchen to the living room nowadays. So you have now they've sold some of their furniture because they're moving. They've sold the breakfast table. They have a little breakfast nook there. A long breakfast bar here where Mike is sitting. You could put several chairs at. And it's very open to the large living room here. There's also a dining, it's called a dining area. It's not really a closed off room. But it's got a 2-car garage. And here is the master bedroom. Pretty big. Now they have a smaller bed, but you could get a king size in here very easily. 2 closets. And a very cute, not kitchen, very cute bathroom here. Got double sinks. It is a tub shower combo. There we go. And let's see here. Oh yeah, another closet in here. Another closet. Walk in because it kind of goes way around. And y'all, I can't wait to show you the backyard. It's very nice. The backyard is an entertainer's delight. Actually, it is in here too because you got lots of space for family and friends to come hang out. All right, check out this backyard. We have a very nice deck with seating areas here. Seating areas are really hot right now. Well, hot it is. It's 100 degrees back here. Seating areas are big right now. And this is a brand new deck. They just had it in to sell it actually. And then y'all look now. It is an above ground pool, but it's very halfway in. And you have another deck. It's a nice seating area. You got enough room to put some chairs out, lay out in the sun. Plus you have enough yard left for animals children to play. And for you guys who love a nice shed with electric, there's your shed with electric. And backyard. Not too much grass to mow, but enough of a yard to say you have a nice little yard. So here's the deck from the back. All right. Let's go back inside where the air conditioning is. I didn't bring my suit to jump in. Okay. So we showed them the nice backyard with the pool and deck and everything.
So
all right.
Flip the screen back around and we'll close this
All
thing
right,
out.
you guys. Here we go.
So, get you set up straight here. Like I said, this is our first show. We're going to get better from here. We got all kinds of things that we want to talk about. We've already lined up things, seller tips, just things. We got funny stories we can tell you about showing and selling property.
Oh, yeah.
One time I had a house listed and a car drove through it. Police were driving. Police were chasing a drunk driver through the neighborhood. The guy drove right through the house.
Room? Yeah.
Got tons of stories that we're going to share with you. We appreciate you being here, liking, sharing, and all that stuff. Sign up. Go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Jacksonville Real Estate. That way you'll get alerts whenever we come live on the show next Saturday. Mm-hmm. Not sure where we're going to be, but hopefully it'll be someplace fun and exciting. And
in the meantime, if you happen to be a buyer and you are looking for houses, I have a much better website than Zillow or Trulia.
Way more accurate.
Those are horrible websites to go to. They're highly inaccurate. But anyway, I have an awesome website that you can search like a realtor. Go to MikeandCindyJones.com. You can search for any house in Northeast Florida. It's an awesome website. And if you're ready to get started, give me a call at 904-874-0423. I'm happy to help you buy a house, and he's happy to help you sell it. So we got you covered.
And you know what? If you've got a house to sell and you want to know the value, don't go to Zillow. They're going to compare your house with everything within a couple of miles.
Computer generated.
They're going to compare you with mobile homes, foreclosures, short sales. They just don't compare apples to apples. So if you want to know the true value of your home, regardless if you're selling or not, get in touch with me. My email address is MikeJonesJax, that's Jax, @gmail.com, or you can just message me here on Facebook. Anyways, until next week.
Next Saturday right here at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. We're signing off. Thanks for being here.
Bye.